All right, let's get into it. We are about to tackle one of the biggest questions anyone ever asks, and we're going to use a source that lays out some really fascinating options for what could happen in the afterlife.
I mean, it's a huge question, isn't it? People have been wondering about this forever. What is really waiting for us on the other side? For most of us, the conversation pretty much starts and ends with two choices. You go to the good place or you go to the bad place. But the source material we're looking at today suggests that maybe, just maybe, that black and white view is leaving out a whole bunch of other possibilities. So let's go explore that world. We're going to check out 7 different ideas about what comes next, all laid out in our source.
Think of this like we're unrolling a giant map of all the different places you could go after this life. We're going to start with the basics and then work our way into the more complex destinations. So let's start at the two opposite poles of our map. The idea that it all just stops versus the idea that it just keeps on going. First up is what our source calls the dissolver, and it's color-coded blue. This one's super straightforward. The belief is that when your body dies, your consciousness, your sense of you, it just fades out. That's it. Game over. There's a character in our source, Diesel, who just puts it perfectly. It's clean, it's simple, no need to worry about what comes next. Now, on the complete opposite side of things, we have the revolver and yellow. This is basically reincarnation. The idea that our consciousness doesn't end at all, it just gets a new body, over and over, like a constantly spinning wheel. And this idea is perfectly captured by another character, Rev, who sees life as this endless revolving cycle of rebirth. Okay, so we have the absolute end, and we have a brand new beginning. But what if there's, like, a cosmic waiting room? Let's see what happens when we start looking at the stuff that can go on between lives. This brings us to the absoluver, which is pink. Now, with this one, the afterlife is like a personal vacation. Your soul gets to chill in a heavenly paradise that you create for yourself, where you can heal up and fulfill your desires before you head back to the school of life. Then you've got the resolver, which is clear. And you've probably heard of this one. It's pretty much a ghost. A spirit that can't move on because it's still attached to something here in the physical world, trying to wrap up some unfinished business. And finally, in this middle zone, there's the unresolved, in gray. This describes a soul that's kind of morally confused. They don't really get the difference between good and evil, so they get stuck in this make-believe fantasy land that they've created for themselves. All right, now this is where things get really dynamic. Our source material basically frames the next options like a giant cosmic video game, where your actions in life determine whether you level up or level down. So check it out. You've got two paths. The Evolver, in white, is the ultimate level up. These are the souls who've mastered wisdom and basically graduate from the whole reincarnation cycle. But on the other side, you've got the Devolver, in black. These are souls that spiral downward, getting more and more corrupt and chaotic. I really love how Rev describes this evolver path. It's not just going around in a circle forever. It's a spiral, always moving upward towards something better. It's about progress. And at the very, very bottom of that downward spiral, that's the insolvent, in a fiery red. This is the ultimate game over on the negative path. The idea is that a soul gets so weighed down with bad karma that it literally can't exist anymore and just slowly burns away. Okay, whoa. We have covered a ton of ground. So let's pull back and look at our completed map to see how all these different pieces fit together. So here it is, all in one spot. You can see the whole spectrum of possibilities, from the simple ending of the dissolver in blue, or the endless cycle of the revolver in yellow, to those in-between waiting rooms like the absolver, resolver, and unresolved, all the way to leveling up as an evolver or spiraling down as a devolver until you're just gone. It's a much more complicated picture than just heaven or hell, right? So what's the big takeaway here? What's the thread that connects all these different ideas? Well, it's that what we do right now really matters. The way we think, the things we say, the actions we take, they aren't just for this life. They're actively building the reality we're going to experience next. And that leaves us with a pretty powerful thought to end on. If you really believed that every choice you make today was literally designing your own personal afterlife, what would you change?